Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a little bit since I've made a video, but today's topic is just overall talking about Money in the Bank in the past WWE events and everything, kind of catching up and telling my overall thoughts on everything that's happened since I have made a video. So I'll start off by talking about Money in the Bank. I just want to say, I thought the event was great. I don't know why so many people are complaining. You have Drew McIntyre winning the briefcase, then trying to cash it in and failing via CM Punk interference. I thought that was freaking awesome. I don't know why people are necessarily complaining about that. Who else in that match realistically could win besides Jey Uso? But I don't really see in the overall arching storyline that I think they're going to push towards, where you could reasonably give Jey Uso a World Heavyweight Championship via the Money in the Bank. I could see them potentially having him feud for it and maybe even potentially winning it in the future, or winning an Intercontinental or US Championship. Unfortunately, I think the time has passed for him to be crowned as one of the top champions so far. What it seems like they're going for. But the event was great. Unfortunately, people will only remember the Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins match for the botched pin at the end of it, which I do think there is some criticism that can be made upon that. But it's also like, it doesn't quite make any sense why so many people are just immediately bashing Damian Priest, immediately bashing the event because a couple things don't go exactly according to what you think they should go. This is a professional company. They know what they're doing. I don't quite understand why people aren't trusting the process of Triple H running things. We've seen it time and time again. He will lead us the right way. That's the way I think, and people can say whatever they want about that. But back to Drew McIntyre winning and all that, all it does is further the storyline of CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. And it's all leading up to that match. And I think it might happen at SummerSlam. I'm excited to see what they're going to do in the future leading up to SummerSlam to lead us to that match. But I don't know why people are so upset with that. That match does not need a championship. If you ask me, putting a championship on that could potentially make the story even a little bit worse. And the only reason why I say that is because I think if they're going to do it at SummerSlam, whoever is holding the World Heavyweight Championship, or whoever would be holding it, would be versing Gunther. And you're not going to have Gunther lose at SummerSlam. You're crowning him as a champion. So it wouldn't make sense to do a quick flopping back and forth of the championship, passing it back and forth real quick, when all you're going to do is a month later give it to Gunther. I think the story gets even better without a championship, because then it's even more petty and there's more of a blood feud going into it, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do and what stipulation they're going to put upon it. I think you give them like an unsanctioned match, or you give them like a Extreme Rules or a False Count Anywhere match. Give them something where they can just beat each other up for like 10-15 minutes, and boom, in the story right there, you could have the story go on a little bit further. I think there's a lot of potential with that. I don't know why so many people are complaining about it. But we'll go on to the next topic, and that is NXT. Oh my goodness, has NXT been cooking recently? They put on an amazing event at Battleground, and the latest event was, I watched it, and I don't know how I don't fully remember the event. But anyway, those events were amazing, even potentially outshining the main event, or the main Raw and SmackDown events. I think there's so many amazing characters and amazing wrestlers within NXT, and I'm so excited to see those guys go on to the future and become future WWE superstars. There's some I could see them pushing to the moon immediately, and I could see there's some where they build them up. I think that there's a lot of potential with NXT, and of course with them combining and teaming with TNA. I mean, not really combining, but teaming with TNA, you see crossovers between both of them, and all it does is help the product more and more, because you get to see some wrestlers that you're like familiar with on another TV show, so you go out of your way to watch TNA. I have not. I was a fan of TNA in the past, periodically, but at this moment I've not gone and watched again. I think TNA though is awesome, and I think they'll continue to be great. And I think with them partnering with the WWE, all it does is make both of them better, because you can now have different storylines. Like right now we're seeing with Joe Hendry, who is insanely over on Raw tapes, on SmackDown tapes, on NXT tapes, on PLEs. You see signs saying "I believe" and signs talking about Joe Hendry. That's how over he is, and he's not even like signed with the WWE. He's signed with TNA. So I think all it does is put more eyes on NXT, put more eyes on TNA, and then you get to have more product and more better wrestling to enjoy. I plan on later this week going into a whole top 10 list of like my current male NXT superstars, and I might do the female ones as well. I'm not as much invested, unfortunately, but I will still make a video about just talking about probably the up-and-coming stars who I think will be great in NXT in the future, and also at this moment who I think are awesome. But anyway, we are on to the next topic, which is the bloodline. Some people might have complaints about this whole storyline. I'm not one of them. I think this has been awesome. I'm excited to see what they're going to do in the future with the current Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and I do so bad with the other two, but I think it's Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga. I might be incorrect, and I apologize if I am, but I think those four and what WWE is doing right now, they are cooking. I think we'll see the match at, I think it's been confirmed, or it's potentially getting confirmed maybe Friday night, but we're going to have Cody versus Solo Sikoa at SummerSlam. I'll go into SummerSlam and I'll just talk about what I think about the event and like kind of preview it a little later on in the video, but that's a match that it's going to happen at SummerSlam, and I think it's going to be pretty good. Cody Rhodes cannot put on bad matches. I've so far, not only in this one, but when I've watched him just in general, like growing up, I've always been a fan of Cody. I think that he puts on stellar matches. He gets better and better every single time he wrestles. And just the way he's able to fight from behind while being battered and bruised and beaten is amazing. I think he's an awesome babyface, and I think that's what the bloodline needs, is like a guy to go after. And I don't like that Kevin Owens is still involved with the bloodline. It's every single year he's still involved with the bloodline. I kind of wish that was over with, but I'm still enjoying the process of this overall story. I think we're going to see a lot more of that progress, and I could see the new bloodline being the whole reason why the other bloodline got back together, and then they verse each other at Survivor Series in a War Games match. Because why not? Because that would tear down the house. But I think the person I'm most excited for coming out of this bloodline, once they eventually end up splitting up, I think is Jacob Fatu. And also, I'll throw in an honorable mention to pretty much the rest of them. I think they're all going to do great, but I think Jacob Fatu, the reason why they pushed off him even debuting so long is because they thought he was going to outshine Solo Sikoa. For good reason. This man is a beast. He is awesome, and there's honestly no complaints when it comes to him in the ring. He's awesome. He's fluid. He's a beast. You can really tell he's a threat, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do in the future of his character. Maybe give him a championship, give him something. And the way he sits there when he's coming down to the ring and he's just praying and praising pretty much Solo Sikoa is beautiful, and I love that character aspect of him and the character of Jacob Fatu. I think it's been too long to get him into WWE, but it's finally awesome that he's there. I'll probably end up checking his New Japan stuff out along with the rest of the Bloodline members that were part of New Japan, just so that way I can understand more of their in-ring ability. But that storyline is great. I'm excited for the future. I think it will continue to be an amazing story, because that's just WWE cooks a lot. And some people might say I'm glazing right now, but I would not, because I am ignorant to my own self. But the next topic is what, in my opinion, might be the best thing on Raw. It is my current hoodie I'm wearing. It is the Wyatt 6. I think from the debut, I was like, wow, they are doing justice with this. And you have them doing the interviews, and they're making it a slow process so you can get to understand what their motives are. And finally seeing Bo Dallas back in a ring, not even in a wrestling match, just in the ring specifically, I goosebumps. And the way he was selling, oh my goodness, flopping all over the place, making every little move look so devastating. But then laughed it off. Oh, and the tributes to Brody Lee when he was going, yeah. I love it. The Wyatt family is my favorite faction of all time, and I'll probably make a video talking about tag teams and factions, doing my top 10, because I am a narcissist, in quotations. But I think the way that they're paying tribute to Bray in a respectful manner, but also leading into that story, because not just ignoring it, which is something I was wondering if they were going to necessarily do. There's a little bit of spookiness to it, which I'm okay with, but it's not becoming supernatural, and I will take that, because the moment a character gets supernatural, that's when it gets a bit weird. And that's when I think it can potentially ruin a character, and that's what I think it did with Bray Wyatt. But I don't think Triple H will do that, because several sources have said that they don't plan on doing that. They just want to make them this cool, spooky, creepy kind of group, but not supernatural. I'm excited for them finally to debut in ring. I'm excited to see what they're going to go for, what's their motives going to be in the future. I think already you have them going after Chad Gable, and with Chad Gable forming up with the Creed brothers. I think that is an amazing move. I think it's going to be a pretty good feud, and I cannot imagine the match being bad, because I don't want to. I'm just going to be ignorant to it, to potentially not being that great. But because of how invested I am into the overall story of the Wyatt Six and what they're doing, I think I'm going to maybe enjoy this match more than potentially other people, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with people having different opinions on it, but it's the yelling and being like, I'm correct because my opinion is different than yours. I think that so far it's been very hyped up for me. Like, I've been super excited for this, and I've been anxiously waiting, like, when are they going to do it? When are they debuting? All this stuff. And I got to see Bo Dallas being interviewed by Uncle Howdy. I got to see that live at Monday Night Raw. So, yes, I'm super invested into it. I'm super excited. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do in the future. Nothing but positivity. I hope they show up at SummerSlam, because that would be pretty cool. I'm just going to hint at why that would be cool. But I have a special video. I have a couple special videos lined up for SummerSlam specifically. So, a little teaser there. But speaking of SummerSlam, we're going to go right into talking about it. I think SummerSlam has the potential to be the single best PLE this year so far. Not necessarily crowd-wise, because of it being, I'm pretty sure an outdoor stadium, it's going to be a little bit difficult to hear them as well. But still, I think that the crowd's going to be into it. I think that there's going to be an amazing set of matches. You have Gunther going after Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. You have Bayley versus Nia Jax for the Women's Championship. And then you have Cody versus Solo. That's pretty much been confirmed. And that match is also going to be great. That one would be for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I think, or not World Heavyweight, WWE Championship. I think that match will be great. And I think afterwards they might even bring back Roman, but I do not know. And I'm sorry if I spoil that for you when you eventually see SummerSlam. But I think that's what could be happening. Either way, that's really exciting. Awesome to have Roman back either way, if he is coming back or if it's going to be a little bit later. I think either way, it's going to be awesome to see, and it pushes that Bloodline storyline even more. But we also have Logan Paul versus LA Knight for the United States Championship. And I think that one's going to be a pretty solid match. LA Knight is not bad in the ring, but he's not like super gifted like Logan Paul is. So I don't think it's going to tear down the house, but I think it's going to be a really good match, and we could potentially see a few new championship holders on this PLE. There's also been talks of potentially The Miz being in some way, shape, or form on this event. And I think they'll also have a triple threat between Ilya Dragunov, Braun Breaker, and Sami Zayn at SummerSlam. If they do, oh my gosh, give it to me, please. I need that. I love that, and that's what I'm here for. I cannot wait. I didn't really go into depth about the Gunther versus Damian Priest match for the World Heavyweight Championship, but I think that match will be pretty good. It's kind of difficult when you go against Gunther to have a bad match. I think that we could potentially see a new champion here. I'm potentially hoping for that. I'm not going to say anything because that's saved for my prediction video, but I will say this: he is my favorite wrestler currently at this very second. So that might hint at my predictions for SummerSlam. I think it's going to be an amazing event. I'm so excited for it. And the WWE right now is tearing it up, putting on great shows, putting on entertaining segments. People complain about it, but I think people overall, the ones that are complaining, are really unrealistic for thinking every single show is going to be like the best show ever, the best show ever, the best show ever, the best show ever. These are not bad shows, and I don't know why people are complaining about it. Anyway, I cannot see in any way, shape, or form where SummerSlam will be bad. But I'm excited to see if they'll top Money in the Bank, if they'll top the NXT event, and how they're going to do compared to the next NXT event, which, if I'm not mistaken, is that Sunday, right after the event at SummerSlam. But that is pretty much it for today's video. I just want to say I got a few videos lined up that I'll probably upload this week. Got a couple videos lined up, and then I got a few different ideas going for the next week and the week after. So I got a bunch of different things planned. I'm really excited for them. But anyway, you guys have a great rest of your day.